So, today we'll be looking a little bit at how to set up Nuxt for Tauri. And one of the reasons we'll be looking at Nuxt specifically is because Create Tauri app doesn't have a Nuxt template. I've used Nuxt for many years now as my go-to front end for anything I make, really. For those of you who don't know, Nuxt is basically something that came around before Vue CLI was a thing, and is still the best alternative, in my opinion, available for SSG/SPA with Vue. Vue CLI went more for the SSR approach, whereas Nuxt sticked to their SSG/SPA approach, which is also why it's actually a really good fit for using with the Tauri. And without further ado, let's set up a basic project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use just the basic command they offer, npx nuxi latest init my app. So if we run that, we say OK. And for those of you who don't know, I've already set up my dev container in this. We're going to move all of these files over to the parent folder, so they're now at the root of the project. Because I like doing it, I'm going to create a source directory where we're going to put public as well as app.vue. This is just personal preference. Those of you who use Nuxt should be familiar with why I'm doing it. So here we have the Nuxt config. The first thing we have to do is set SSR to false, and we need to set source dir to source. Then we're going to run pnpm-i, which thankfully the Nuxt template has already given us the proper setup to support pnpm. Since we're working in my dev container, we're going to add pnpm store to our git ignore. So if we now try to run our Nuxt frontend, we should see exactly this, and we're just gonna wait until we see this. So now we have a Nuxt app set up, the basics of it. All we're gonna work on now is setting this up so that it's displayed in a Tauri window. What we're gonna do now is pnpm add Tauri apps/CLI and at Tauri. Oh, actually, we'll do that after. Just add the CLI for now. Now we can go to package.json, and we're just gonna add the Tauri command. Now we're going to run pnpm Tauri init. We're just gonna call it Nuxt app, that's fine. And it will be in list, it will be localhost 3000, and it will be tnpm, and we don't need the run part. And we're going to do pnpm generate. It's our build command. Then we can run pnpm Tauri dev, and I do believe everything should be good to go with that. And as per usual, first time around, we have to wait a second for things to build. Almost there. Just a little bit longer. GTK is by far the biggest dependency. And there we go. As you can see, this is Nuxt running in Tauri. The next thing we're going to look at is how to add the Tauri API. Most of you probably already know how. We're just gonna run pnpm add at Tauri apps API. Here, in order to switch from Nuxt welcome, we're going to do Nuxt layout. We're actually also going to install its folder. So we get some better highlighting. So we're going to add Nuxt layout. Then we're going to add layouts folder. We're going to add default.view, template, Nuxt page. Then we're going to add pages. We're going to add index.view, template, hello world. Now we're just gonna run this. Thankfully, the second time it's way faster, at least on the Tauri end. In my experience, Nuxt takes a bit longer than it has to, but there you go. Pages, default, goes to Nuxt page, this takes Nuxt layout. Oh, that's why. There we go. So, hello world. We've now created our own custom page in Nuxt. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a script section, and we're just going to do this the super basic way. So this would be import invoke from at Tauri apps API, export default mounted. And just because we can and we're cool, we're going to switch language to TypeScript. Here we're going to run invoke greet. If we open up the console here and we go to source Tauri and we verify that, yeah, there's no greet command yet. So what we have to do is we have to do Tauri command function greet string format. We don't need format really, but we're just gonna say hello. My eternal enemy, Rust Analyzer, but it's fine. Handlers. Oh god, what's the... Whenever I'm in doubt on what the actual... Right, it's generate handler, right. Tauri generate. Why are you complaining? Alright, if that ever complains, literally just do this. That should prevent it from complaining, although, yeah, you have to save so it, God damn it, so that it actually gets rid of it. Now we should have the greet command, and when we invoke it, we should be returning the string hello. We can also print line hello, and this is because I can't be bothered setting up the rest of it. As you can see, we got hello in the terminal, and we're returning the string hello from Rust. In our front end, let's do const retval equals in await invoke console log retval hello from Rust. We can also do data return message, and we can do this dot message equals. Why are you complaining? Oh, right. And we can do message. There we go. Hello from Rust. And yeah, that's all you really need to know about setting up a basic Nuxt app. So all we did was we ran the basic Nuxt creator for a new basic app. Then we ran Tauri init in order to create source Tauri, and then we set up the API, and that really was all there was to it. We also set up SSR false. This is most of the magic you need. There's a bit more magic you can set up for your Vite or Vite or however you're supposed to pronounce that, if you're going to use version 2. So if we look at mobile development in with the next version, version 2 of Tauri, you're gonna have to look at this part in particular. Since we don't officially support other, support Nuxt, I'm not sure if we'll have an entry for it, but Nuxt uses Vite anyway, so this is basically the sort of setup you'll need to do for version 2, and I believe all you really have to do is Vite server. Oh, I don't know if you were allowed to set the host. No. Because Nuxt is a little bit special about this. It doesn't want you to use whatever you want. Because I believe both host and port, yeah, they don't want you to use host or port. Then we have HMR, protocol, VS, and I think this is all you need in order to make it work for version 2. Because I do believe host and port are set up automatically for both of these sections when you're using Nuxt. So all you have to do is tell it to use WebSocket and strict port in order to have the same type of config we have here. I don't think internal port or internal IP is actually required when you're using Nuxt, because I believe it already uses 0000. I think so, at least. Anyway, that's been Nuxt with Tauri. I hope that answered any questions you might have as to how to set it up. That's it for this time. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.